Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I'm the great and peaceful Mr. E.
So peaceful.
Yeah.
And I'm peaceful Jay.
Sure you are.
Okay, I'm just Jay then.
I'm just Jay.
I was peaceful until I had to sit up straight in my seat.
No, it's not even sitting up straight. It's just sitting up kind of.
Well, that's tough to do sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Today's Freaky Fauna is...
What? I don't know.
Oh, I thought I told you. The olive sea snake.
Definitely didn't tell me that. Olive sea snake?
We're going to talk about sea snakes, but the olive sea snake in particular.
Oh, okay. Why that one?
Well, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah, that's what the show's all about.
But so sea snakes in general are fully marine snakes. They give birth in the water. They never leave the water. Sometimes they wash up on shore and stuff like that. And you can pick them up and stuff. Don't ever pick one up. Every time I see somebody have one in their hand, it's like,
Aren't all sea snakes poisonous?
Venomous.
Venomous? That's what I meant.
Extremely.
Why do I always mix that up? I know
everybody
the difference.
does it. Everybody does. So distribution in the world. Tropical Western Pacific oceans of northern Australia to New Guinea and the surrounding island groups. These guys are coral reef inhabitants. They are active predators. They are actively always hunting. You see sea snakes and moray eels fight it out a lot.
Okay.
I just watched an olive sea snake eat a moray eel about its same size and ended up throwing it all up at the end because it was just like 6 inches too long.
Yeah.
So the moray eel was technically bigger.
So did the moray eel live?
No.
Oh.
No, he already got bit.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Venomous.
So the olive sea snake is the most common sea snake along the northern coast of Australia and the nearby islands. It is a true snake, and it gets its common name from the color of its skin.
Okay.
It's very olive mottled in color. These guys are confused with sea kraits and stuff like that a lot, which is another type of snake. Like all reptiles, olive sea snakes breathe air. But unlike sea turtles, crocodiles, sea kraits, and other marine reptiles, which must nest on shore, the olive sea snake lives its entire life cycle in the ocean.
Okay.
So sea kraits, there's another group of snakes that live in the ocean. Those are kraits.
Why are they called kraits?
It's just the name.
Okay.
It's just a group name of them.
Never
it's
heard
not
that.
spelled like a crate, like a wooden crate.
Okay.
It is like, it's Kraits.
Oh.
And they're
okay.
really pretty too. Both sea snakes and kraits are very, very pretty. But kraits have to go on land to give birth and lay eggs and such.
Ah, there's the difference.
Sea snakes do not. Olive sea snakes do not. They grow to lengths of well over 6 feet / 2 meters long. The species is well adapted for ocean life and coral reefs. It has a very flattened paddle-like tail and extremely large lungs, allowed to go hours in between breaths to the surface. We don't really have an accurate time measurement on this. We think 2 to 4 hours. It may be a day or so.
How long it can stay under?
Yeah. Now, the thing with reptiles is, like, we know with some northern reptiles, like turtles and stuff, will actually freeze and stay underneath ice in the ponds. Mm-hmm. They go into pretty much stasis. Mm-hmm. So it's the amount of activity. So let's say a olive sea snake is hiding from a shark or some predator that would try to eat it. You know, if it coils up and hides in a rock hole, it doesn't move. You know, it probably can stretch out that time much, much longer than actively hunting.
I heard they can they coil up and make like a little ball, and then they stick their head in the middle of the ball and breathe air inside of it.
So this is Jay rewriting history. He likes to do that. Given its length, it has special light-sensing organs in its tail that allow it to remain totally hidden, including its tail. It is preferred hiding place along reefs during the daylight hours. So it can sense light along its body, including its tail.
Wow, okay.
So it makes sure that there's no part of it sticking out from the rocks.
It would be able to tell. That's pretty neat.
That's a freaky fact. So literally, it can sense light on its body.
So it's almost like having eyes everywhere.
Very, very super primitive eyes.
Right.
The olive sea snake is highly venomous. It actively hunts small to medium fish and benthic vertebrates, including prawns and crabs. It prefers to hunt at night and only comes out at the day to hiding places for its occasional breath. Olive sea snakes are naturally curious and are known to approach scuba divers, not aggressively, but inquisitively.
Okay.
So sea snakes in general, we'll talk like bull sea snakes and like a couple of the other really big species of sea snakes are super inquisitive of divers.
So they'll just come in and take a look?
Yeah, they just look and they'll like poke you with their nose and stuff like that. They're just super smart animals and they kind of just want to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Reminds me a lot of cobras.
I think I may have seen a video of this once.
It's-
Personally, a kayaker.
That was a bull sea snake and it came up to as a big male he thought was dead. And it was just floating on the surface.
Right to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll come right at you, surfers and stuff like that. Not, like I said, not being aggressive.
Just checking it out.
Like, what's that? I
Yeah.
want to know what that thing is. A lot of times they'll also try to take, like, they'll rest on floating debris. That's another thing is they'll try to get on a board and stuff like that.
Okay.
Though they rarely bite people, it's extremely rare to get bitten by an olive sea snake. Their bites are known to be extremely fatal.
Wow, okay.
So here's the thing with venom underwater, and especially saltwater, is it dilutes incredibly fast.
So it moves through your body way faster?
No, so like in the water environments, in aquatic environments, venom dilutes.
Oh, dilutes, okay.
So they get extremely potent venom to make sure they deliver the amount they need to kill
kill
a prey. Kill prey.
Gotcha.
So the problem is when you're holding a sea snake on land, it doesn't dilute.
Yeah, it's extra potent.
It is really some of the most venomous snakes on the planet. They're not the deadliest snakes on the planet because, like I said, they extremely rarely bite people, and a lot of the bites are people picking them up.
So big difference between deadly and
Potent.
Potent, I guess. Dangerous.
If you get bit by these guys, if you get their venom like in your eye, like Forrest, the famous conservation biologist that goes out, he thought he got it was the bull. I believe it was bull sea snakes. He thought he got a little bit of venom in his eye. He thought he didn't wash his hands. He did not tell anybody. He told his camera guy, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to freak his wife out, because you only got about an hour and a half. And the thing with sea snake venom is you don't have any symptoms until blood pours out of everything and you die within a couple minutes.
So you're pretty much dead.
There's no anti-venom.
Yeah.
There's no way to save you.
There's no anti-venom at all for sea snake? Wow.
Because you just die.
Yeah. Wow.
And like I said, dude, you don't have symptoms. You get a little hot and sweaty, like maybe. But so if you're out in the sun all day, kind of that feeling.
Yeah.
You get like a little bit of that. But then you just, you explode pretty much internally and die.
Wow. It'll all go to your thighs, and then you blow up.
So he was milking sea snakes for research, getting the venom out of them.
Yep.
And he got a little bit on his hand, and he couldn't remember if he washed his hand or not before he touched his eye.
Oh.
So he was sitting there and he told his camera guy, like, hey, I don't know if I washed my hand. So he didn't go to dinner with the crew. His wife went to dinner with everybody, and he went to the hotel room and he wrote a note to his wife just in case, because he didn't want to freak anybody out. And then he was fine.
Oh, nice.
He washed his hands.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The importance of...
Wash your hands.
Yes. Cleanliness. Good habits.
Yeah. They rarely bite people. Their bites are known to be extremely fatal. Olive sea snakes do not leave the water to nest or for any reason at all. This species reproduced via internal fertilization and gives live birth to, a few 6 to 8 well-developed young that do not receive any parental care. So when these guys come out of their mom, they're ready to go. They're ready to rock and roll.
Live birth, no eggs.
The young are sufficiently darker than adults and develop their olive-brown color as they mature. Large bony fish, sharks, and predatory birds are often known to eat juveniles, even adult sea snakes on occasion.
Okay.
So it's pretty much who bites who first.
Right, yeah.
Olive sea snakes are not fished by people. They are at risk by accidental capture by fisheries targeting species, particularly bottom-dwelling trawlers, which are about the worst thing are doing to the ocean actively besides gill nets.
Pretty much raking the bottom of the ocean.
It destroys the bottom to catch bottom fish.
Yeah.
And these guys get caught in it. Like, you see videos of, like, I think it was a Taiwanese fishing boat literally picking up these guys and throwing them out and with their bare hands.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm just like, yeah, that sucks. That sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they get bit.
So if a snake bites one of the fish in the net that they pull up.
So, no, venom has to be injected into the bloodstream or has to get into the bloodstream a certain way.
That's okay.
Cooking and eating,
that's what I was
you
gonna
destroy
ask
the
you,
venom.
yeah.
Venom is a big thing with venom is heat. Like, you can break venom down extremely fast with heat. So if you just cook the fish or even if the fish gets too warm, it's not like poison. That's a big difference between poison and venom.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you ate it, would you then be poisoned? But probably not.
I'm going to say most likely no.
Yeah, if you cook it.
Because I think your acid, even if you were to drink the venom, quote unquote, I don't think it would feel good, but I think your acid would break it down fast enough
So it wouldn't...
where it wouldn't kill you.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's probably not going to be the best thing, though, to feel. These species prefer to venture off the reefs at night to hunt for bottom-dwelling species they target by these fisheries. This behavior increases the likelihood of being accidentally captured. Though scientists generally believe their populations of olive sea snakes do not decrease considering this. So the species right now is considered least concerned.
Okay.
There are other species of kraits and sea snakes that are endangered and stuff like that. But olive sea snakes are the ones, if you see a sea snake, it's probably these guys.
Gotcha.
Fun facts about olive sea snakes. Olive sea snakes are one of the most common sea snakes found in the world, or especially around Australia. They're only found in the Australian waters, but they're so common that they're one of the most, one of the highest populations. They are deep divers, not quite like our leatherback sea turtle friend, but they go down to 230 feet below sea level.
That's pretty impressive.
They typically spend most of their time in shallow reefs that are between 32 and 131 feet, though.
That's still impressive.
So they hang out during the day, and most of the time they're not hunting there, and they actually jump off the reef at night, essentially, and go hunt in deeper water. Olive sea snakes can grow up to 6.5 feet long as our biggest individuals measured, but we think they can get a little bigger than that. They're very chunky snakes, too.
Okay.
And that's mostly because their lungs. Their lungs are absolutely massive, even for snakes. Like I said, olive sea snakes can spend up to 2 hours underwater before returning to the surface to breath, but we don't have a definitive number on this. Like, if you just Google anacondas, for example, you just Google anacondas.
Right,
it says like 19 or 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And the reptile zoo here in Michigan, that's literally like 45 minutes away from where I'm sitting, they have one recorded for 2 hours and 19 minutes underwater.
Right.
And they watch it the whole time. It's on video. It never came up. It was eating. Like land snake, olive sea snakes must shed their skin, and they do this by rubbing against coral and rocks to loosen it first. Skin shedding is not only helpful for growth, but it also rids the sea snakes of algae, barnacles, and benzoa, which are those big, we call them brains in freshwater.
Oh, those things. Okay.
So shedding of skin actually helps them. Like, you look at olive sea snakes, they look pretty clean for long-lived, bigger marine animals.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like turtles and stuff like that, they get like parasites and barnacles and all kinds of things. So the shedding helps.
Gotcha.
The only exception is like leatherbacks, and we talked about that in the leatherback episodes because they go to the frickin' bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And just kill everything.
Everything on it. Yep.
Everything on them will die with them. No. So any questions about sea snakes?
Well, I mean, they're no questions. They're highly venomous. Their freaky fauna fact is their light sensitive receptors in their whole body.
They're very smart
and
very inquisitive. So even when you get bit, like a lot of divers, they get bit, and it's very rare for a diver to get bit by these things. Their fangs are very small.
Okay.
So like cobras, for example, a lot of cobras have very small fangs. So even like bites on the boot or bites on your pants and stuff like that for a cobra, a lot of times will not include envenomation.
Right.
Because their fangs are so small. These guys have really small fangs too, so like they cannot bite through a wetsuit. It'd be very, very rare.
They got to really get a hold of you.
Yeah, and they got to have them very upset.
Right, that too, yeah.
That's a lot of things with venomous snakes. Like, you look at copperheads, and we've talked about this on the show before. Almost all copperhead bites in the U.S. are on the hands and arms, and 99% of the time is because people pick them up.
Right, trying to handle them.
If you just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Olive sea snakes, like, a lot of times I see the encounters with them and stuff. Like, your paddleboarder or your scuba, like, they'll just take the paddle and gently push them away, and then they'll go away.
Right.
And then the guys, scuba divers, will take, like, their reef bag or something like that and just kind of, like, push them, and then they'll be like, okay, and they'll swim the other direction.
Move along, yeah.
If you don't hit them or you don't grab them, like, a lot of the bites that these guys get are trawling boats that pick them up.
Like, grab them aggressively by their tail?
Or they're grabbing them right in the middle and squeezing them.
Yeah.
So they're just going to turn around and be a snake and bite, and then you're like, and most of the time it doesn't even hurt because their fangs are so small.
Yeah.
So you're like, that's
then
paper
your
cut.
eyeballs are bleeding.
And blood starts spewing out of organs.
Exactly.
So and this is just another one to show you respect. Respect the freaky fauna, and they will respect you.
Very wise to end this.
Yep. I've been the great and peaceful mystery,
and I've been Jay.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.